The ocean stretches infinitely in every direction, a vast and restless expanse where the sky and water blur into one endless horizon. It is a world that has no boundaries, no fixed shape, just the steady rhythm of waves rolling in and out, whispering to the shore before retreating into the deep. The sea breathes in a way that no other place on earth does, a slow and measured pulse that has existed long before the first life emerged from its depths. It is ancient, eternal, and mysterious, a place where time itself seems to slow, where the past and present fold into each other like the tides. As the last light of day fades, the sky transforms into a vast canvas of deep purples, indigos, and velvety blacks. Stars blink to life one by one, their reflections shimmering on the water's surface like scattered pearls. Above, the moon hangs low, casting a luminous silver path across the sea, an ethereal invitation to the unknown. The water responds in kind, glittering and shifting as if mirroring the sky's celestial dance. You watch as the gentle rise and fall of the waves creates a lullaby, their hushed movements an unspoken language known only to the deep. Beneath the surface, an entire world exists, unseen but ever present. The shallows are alive with movement, schools of fish darting through coral palaces, their scales catching the last golden light of the setting sun. Kelp forests sway like underwater meadows, their long, ribbon-like leaves moving in harmony with the tide. The ocean is never still, yet its motion is not hurried. It moves with a patience beyond human understanding, as if it has all the time in the world. But beyond the reaches of the sun's final rays, where light surrenders to the abyss, the ocean becomes a realm of deep silence. Here, in the midnight zone, the water is thick with darkness, a place untouched by daylight yet teeming with unseen wonders. In this twilight world, bioluminescent creatures flicker to life, glowing softly in shades of blue, green, and violet. Tiny sparks of light drift like stars trapped beneath the waves, their presence a quiet reminder that even in the deepest darkness, beauty persists. You close your eyes and listen. The ocean is more than sound. It is a feeling, a presence that envelops you in its vast embrace. A distant whale song echoes through the water, low and haunting, its melody stretching across miles of unseen currents. It is a song older than time, carried through the sea like a message from the past, a story whispered to those willing to listen. The ocean does not demand to be understood. It exists as it always has, a keeper of secrets and a cradle of life. It is a place of endless possibility, where lost civilizations sleep beneath shifting sands, where creatures unknown still glide through unseen trenches, and where every wave carries echoes of journeys taken long ago. As you breathe deeply, the steady rhythm of the water lulls you into a deep and peaceful rest. The sea is calling, inviting you to drift further into its embrace. The night is young, and the journey into the endless blue has only just begun. Chapter 1. The Life Beneath the Waves. The ocean's surface is just the beginning of its story. Beneath the rolling waves, a vast and intricate world exists, hidden from the eyes of those who stand upon the shore. It is a world teeming with life, with creatures that drift, glide, and dart through an ever-moving expanse. The deeper you go, the more the light fades, and yet the ocean does not become empty. It transforms into something else entirely, something just as alive, just as wondrous. In the shallows, where the sunlight still reaches, The water is clear and shimmering, a golden world that pulses with the energy of marine life. Coral reefs, known as the rainforests of the sea, stretch out in every direction, their intricate structures forming an endless labyrinth of color. Each coral formation is alive, made of countless tiny organisms building their homes together, forming a world where life flourishes in the smallest crevices. Schools of fish, iridescent and swift, weave between the corals in perfect harmony, shifting their course as if guided by an unseen hand. Clownfish slip between the protective arms of sea anemones, their vibrant orange bodies standing out against the gentle sway of the reef. Nearby, a sea turtle glides effortlessly, its ancient eyes calm and knowing, as though it has seen all the ocean has to offer, and carries its wisdom within the slow movement of its flippers. The sunlight creates shifting patterns on the ocean floor, dappling the sand with golden ripples as the waves above cast their soft, rhythmic shadows. Tiny crabs scuttle across the seabed, disappearing into burrows as larger creatures drift overhead. Manta rays, their wings like silk, glide just beneath the surface, their movements slow and deliberate, as if they are dancing with the currents. The sea here is warm, inviting, a place of comfort where life moves with a steady and predictable rhythm. But the ocean is a place of contrasts, and as the depth increases, so too does the mystery. Just beyond the shallows, where the sun begins to wane, lies the twilight zone, a place where the water darkens, and the rules of the surface no longer apply. The creatures here have adapted to a world of dim light, their bodies sleek and streamlined, built for silent movement. A school of barracuda passes by, their silver bodies catching the last golden light before disappearing into the deep. Further down, jellyfish drift like spirits suspended in water, their translucent bodies pulsing with an ethereal glow. They move without effort, carried by the currents, their delicate tendrils trailing behind them like strands of silk. Some glow in shades of soft blue, others flash with sudden bursts of neon pink and violet, a warning to any creature that dares come too close. They are both fragile and untouchable, a contradiction that only the ocean could create. Then comes the true deep, where the last traces of sunlight fade into blackness. Here, in the midnight zone, the water is cold, silent, and endless. It is a realm where creatures create their own light, where bioluminescent orbs flicker like distant stars, illuminating the darkness in ghostly blues and greens. Strange and beautiful beings dwell here. Anglerfish with their eerie glowing lures, delicate glass squids that shift from visible to invisible in an instant, and ribbon-like siphonophores stretching the length of a ship, floating through the depths like silent sentinels of the deep. The pressure here is immense, the silence absolute, yet life persists. It is a testament to the resilience of the ocean, to its ability to create beauty even in the most inhospitable places. Every creature here has adapted to survive, their bodies shaped by the darkness, their instincts honed by the necessity of patience and precision. They are the hidden guardians of the deep, seen only by those who dare to venture where no light remains. Yet even in the depths, the ocean never truly sleeps. The currents shift and swirl, carrying nutrients from the surface down to feed the waiting mouths below. The water moves like a great unseen breath, flowing between continents, stirring life in places untouched by humankind. It is this movement, this constant ebb and flow, that connects the entire ocean, from the coral gardens of the shallows to the silent plains of the abyss. The ocean is not just a body of water. It is a living, breathing world, one that stretches beyond the horizon, beyond the limits of human imagination. It is a place where the past lingers, where creatures older than time itself still roam, and where the cycle of life continues, undisturbed as it has for millions of years. As you drift through its endless depths, lulled by the gentle pull of the current, you realize that the ocean is not just something to be seen, it is something to be felt. It is a song, a story whispered through the waves, waiting for those who listen. And so, the journey continues, deeper into the unknown, into the heart of the ocean's mysteries. Chapter 2: The Myths and Legends of the Sea. For as long as humans have gazed upon the sea, they have woven stories to explain its vast, untamed waters. The ocean, with its endless depths and mysterious creatures, has inspired myths of gods, sea monsters, and lost civilizations. Tales passed down through generations, whispered by sailors on moonlit nights, carried by the tides from shore to shore. Some saw the ocean as a place of wonder, others as a realm of chaos, where the unknown lurked beneath the waves. As you drift deeper into the heart of the sea, the stories come alive, echoing through the currents like forgotten voices from the past. The gods of the deep, rulers of the ocean. The ocean has long been a domain of gods and deities, their power as vast and untamed as the sea itself. The ancient Greeks spoke of Poseidon, god of the sea, his mighty trident able to stir the waters into raging tempests or calm them into gentle ripples. His realm, the kingdom of Atlantis, was said to be a magnificent underwater city filled with treasures beyond imagination, lost beneath the waves for eternity. The Norse people, braving the treacherous northern seas, believed in Aegir, the giant who ruled the depths with his wife, Ran, a goddess who collected the souls of drowned sailors in her net. To them, the sea was a living force, both a provider and a destroyer, one that demanded respect. In the Pacific, Polynesian legends tell of Tangaroa, the great creator god of the ocean, whose breath formed the waves, whose hands shaped the coral reefs. For many island cultures, the sea was sacred, a connection to the gods, and an endless road that linked distant lands. From the Inuit tales of Sedna, the goddess who controls marine life, to the Hindu stories of Varuna, the divine ruler of the waters, nearly every civilization has revered the sea as a powerful, divine force, its presence as eternal as the sky. The Song of the Sirens and Mermaids. Few legends are as haunting as the tales of sirens and mermaids, beings said to lure sailors to their doom with their enchanting voices. In Greek mythology, sirens were half-woman, half-bird creatures who perched on rocky shores, singing songs so beautiful that any who heard them would steer their ships toward the rocks, never to return. The hero Odysseus, warned of their deadly song, famously had his crew plug their ears with wax while he tied himself to the mast, desperate to hear but unwilling to succumb. Later, sirens became mermaids, their image shifting from dangerous seductresses to mysterious, sorrowful creatures. The ocean was vast and unexplored, and to those who spent months at sea, the idea of encountering a beautiful, otherworldly being beneath the waves was both terrifying and irresistible. But not all mermaids were dangerous. Some legends spoke of them as protectors, rescuing sailors from shipwrecks, guiding lost travelers home. In Scandinavian folklore, the Havfru was said to be a kind, ethereal spirit of the sea, while in Japan, the Ningyo was a fish-like creature that brought good fortune to those who glimpsed it. The sea, after all, is a place of contradiction. One moment calm and inviting, the next fierce and unforgiving. So too were the beings that were said to inhabit it, creatures of both beauty and danger, forever caught between two worlds. The Kraken and the monsters of the deep. If mermaids represented the alluring side of the ocean, then the Kraken embodied its raw, merciless power. This legendary sea monster, described as an enormous, tentacled beast capable of dragging entire ships to the depths, haunted the imaginations of sailors for centuries. In Scandinavian folklore, the Kraken was said to rise from the abyss, its massive limbs capable of creating whirlpools that swallowed ships whole. Some claimed to have seen its tentacles reaching high above the masts, its body so large that it could be mistaken for an island before it moved. But the Kraken was not the only creature feared by those who dared to cross the seas. Ancient maps were often marked with warnings of sea serpents, great snake-like beasts that lurked beneath the waves, waiting to strike. The Vikings told tales of Jörmungandr, the world serpent so vast that it encircled the earth, its movements causing storms and high tides. In Chinese mythology, dragons ruled the seas, bringing both destruction and prosperity depending on their moods. Even today, with all that science has uncovered, the deep sea remains largely unexplored. Perhaps that is why stories of sea monsters persist, because in the vast darkness of the ocean, where shadows move in the deep and unknown creatures still roam, it is easy to believe that something ancient and unseen is waiting beneath the waves. The legend of the lost city of Atlantis. Of all the ocean's mysteries, none is as enduring as the legend of Atlantis. First mentioned by the Greek philosopher Plato, Atlantis was described as a mighty civilization, an advanced society that flourished beyond imagination before being swallowed by the sea. Some believe Atlantis was a real place, a kingdom lost to a natural disaster, perhaps an earthquake or tsunami that dragged it into the abyss. Others see it as a myth, a warning about the dangers of hubris and power. Over the centuries, explorers and historians have searched for its ruins, claiming to have found evidence of its existence off the coasts of Spain, the Caribbean, or even Antarctica. Whether real or myth, the story of Atlantis continues to captivate the imagination. It is a reminder that the ocean holds secrets we may never fully uncover, entire histories hidden beneath the waves, waiting to be discovered. The ocean as a keeper of stories. The myths of the sea are more than just tales. They are reflections of humanity's relationship with the ocean. To ancient civilizations, the sea was both a giver and a taker of life, a source of mystery that demanded both reverence and fear. These stories were born from the need to explain the unexplainable, to give shape to the things that lurked just beyond sight. Even now, when science has mapped much of the ocean's surface, the deep remains largely unknown. The trenches and abysses, the creatures that have never seen the light of day. These are the last frontiers of our world, the places where myth and reality blur together. Perhaps that is why the legends of the sea endure. Because the ocean, vast and unknowable, still has stories left to tell. Chapter 3. The Deep Unknown. Beneath the waves, where the last slivers of sunlight fade into darkness, the ocean transforms into something entirely different. This is the deep unknown, a realm so vast and untouched that it remains one of the last great mysteries of our world. Here, in the abyssal depths, the pressures are immense, the temperatures near freezing, and yet life thrives in ways beyond imagination. Few have ventured into these hidden depths, but those who have speak of a world unlike anything seen on the surface. A world where creatures glow in the darkness, where mountains taller than Everest rise unseen from the ocean floor, and where deep-sea trenches stretch like bottomless chasms into the unknown. This is a world where time moves differently, where the rules of life as we know them are rewritten by the ocean's quiet, relentless force. Descending into darkness, the midnight zone. The journey into the deep begins at the twilight zone, where the last fragments of sunlight struggle to reach. Here, at around 200 to 1,000 meters, 650 to 3,300 feet. Below the surface, the water is dim and shadowy. Strange creatures roam these waters. Barrel-eye fish with transparent heads, their eyes glowing faintly in the gloom, and dragonfish with needle-like teeth and bioluminescent lures that shimmer like stars in the darkness. But deeper still lies the true unknown, the midnight zone, beginning around 1,000 meters, 3,300 feet, down and stretching far beyond. This is a world without sunlight, where the only illumination comes from the creatures themselves. Bioluminescence, the ability to produce light, is the key to survival here. Tiny flashes of blue and green light flicker like fireflies beneath the waves, illuminating the dark expanse. Siphonophores, delicate, glowing chains of living organisms, drift like strands of silk through the water, while anglerfish wait motionless, their glowing lures swaying like ghostly lanterns, drawing prey toward their waiting jaws. In this darkness, glowing patterns and sudden flashes of light are more than beauty. They are survival, a means of communication, deception, and hunting. Even here, in this world of eternal night, the ocean is alive. The abyssal plains, a world without limits. Beyond the midnight zone, at depths of 4,000 meters, 13,000 feet, and beyond, lies the abyssal plain, a vast, almost featureless underwater desert stretching across the ocean floor. Here, the pressure is crushing, the water cold, and yet, even in this desolation, life persists. Gigantic sea cucumbers inch across the seabed, filtering tiny particles from the water. Blind, ghostly fish navigate by sensing vibrations rather than sight. Some creatures, like the eerie Dumbo octopus, drift through the darkness with their delicate, ear-like fins flapping gently. These animals have evolved to survive in conditions once thought impossible, proving that life, in all its forms, finds a way. The abyss is not empty. It is a quiet, hidden world, one that has existed unchanged for millions of years. The deepest places on Earth, the trenches. Beyond even the abyssal plains, the ocean reveals its deepest secrets. The Hadal Zone, named after Hades, the Greek god of the underworld, lies within the ocean's deepest trenches, immense chasms that cut into the seafloor like scars on the planet's surface. The Mariana Trench, the deepest place on Earth, plunges nearly 11 kilometers, 7 miles, beneath the surface, deeper than Mount Everest is tall. In this crushing darkness, where the pressure is over 1,000 times greater than at sea level, life still endures. In 1960, the bathyscaphe Trieste, piloted by Jacques Picard and Don Walsh, became the first human-occupied vessel to reach the trench's bottom. Their discovery astonished the world. Life existed even at these extreme depths. They saw a lone flatfish moving across the seafloor, proof that even in this seemingly inhospitable place, the ocean still held secrets. In recent years, robotic explorers like Challenger Deep and Victor Vescovo's submersible have returned to these depths, capturing footage of bizarre creatures, translucent amphipods, alien-like jellyfish, and strange gelatinous beings that glide silently through the abyss. Every dive into these trenches reveals something new, something never seen before. The ocean's depths are not lifeless. They are simply waiting to be explored. The sound of silence. One of the most haunting aspects of the deep ocean is its silence. Unlike the bustling shallows where waves crash and fish dart between reefs, the Hadal depths are eerily quiet. Yet, even in this silence, the deep sea has a voice. Whales, diving to incredible depths, let out long, echoing songs that stretch across the water for miles. Some sounds, recorded by deep-sea hydrophones, remain unexplained. Mysterious noises like the bloop, a deep, rumbling frequency detected in 1997, and the Julia sound, an eerie, low-pitched noise that scientists believe may have come from a massive iceberg scraping against the seafloor. The deep ocean is alive with secrets, sounds, and movements that we are only just beginning to understand. A world we barely know. Despite our advancements in technology, more than 80% of the ocean remains unexplored. The depths of the sea are the last true frontier of our planet, a place where life exists beyond human reach, where new species are waiting to be discovered, where history itself is buried beneath layers of time. Sunken ships, ancient relics, and the bones of creatures long extinct lie undisturbed on the ocean floor. Some say that lost continents, even Atlantis, could be hidden beneath the waves, their ruins swallowed by time. And who knows what new discoveries await in the deep? Creatures that defy understanding, ecosystems untouched for millennia, glimpses of worlds that have never been seen. The ocean holds its secrets tightly. For every answer we find, more questions emerge, more mysteries to unravel. And perhaps, in the end, that is the greatest beauty of the deep unknown, not knowing. The understanding that in an age where much of the world has been mapped and claimed, there still exists a place beyond us, beyond certainty, beyond light. A place where the ocean whispers its secrets in the language of currents and silence, waiting for those who dare to listen. Chapter 4. The Call of the Ocean. The ocean is more than water and waves. It is more than the sum of its currents, tides, and hidden depths. It is a force that speaks to something deep within us, a primal, ancient connection that humanity has never fully understood, yet has always felt. For centuries, people have stood on distant shores, staring out across its vastness, drawn to its endless horizon. Some have ventured into its depths, sailing beyond what was known, while others have simply listened to the sound of the waves and found peace in their rhythmic motion. The ocean does not belong to us, and yet we are undeniably connected to it. Its tides pull at the earth, shaping coastlines and stirring winds, while its very presence sustains life in ways we often take for granted. The call of the ocean is quiet but persistent, an unspoken invitation to explore, to understand, and to respect the great blue world that covers most of our planet. The ocean as humanity's first highway. Long before maps and borders, before civilizations rose and fell, the ocean was the first great road, a limitless expanse connecting distant lands. The earliest explorers set sail with no certainty of what lay beyond the horizon, navigating by the stars, trusting the currents to carry them forward. The Polynesians, known as some of the greatest navigators in history, charted vast distances across the Pacific without compasses, relying on the ocean itself to guide them. They read the swells of the waves, the flight patterns of birds, and the subtle changes in water temperature to find islands thousands of miles apart. To them, the ocean was not an obstacle, but a pathway, a living map that whispered directions to those who knew how to listen. In the Mediterranean, the Phoenicians and Greeks crossed the waters in search of trade and knowledge, their wooden ships carving through the waves like silent messengers between cultures. The Vikings, fierce and unyielding, sailed across the North Atlantic, following the paths of whales and the shifting colors of the sky to reach new lands. And later, during the Age of Exploration, adventurers like Magellan and Columbus set out across the vast ocean, their sails billowing like the wings of seabirds, driven by the same call that has echoed through history: the need to discover what lies beyond. Even today, though the world has been mapped and satellites trace every coastline, the ocean remains a space of possibility. There is always something new to find, always a new depth to explore, always another wave to chase. The ocean as a source of life. The ocean is not just a highway, it is a provider, a giver of life. More than half of the oxygen we breathe comes not from forests, but from microscopic plankton drifting in the sea, tiny organisms that bloom in unseen abundance, filling the air with each breath they exhale. Entire ecosystems thrive beneath the surface, from the coral reefs bursting with color and life to the deep-sea vents where creatures endure unimaginable pressures, surviving on the heat that seeps from the earth itself. The ocean's currents carry warmth and nutrients around the globe, sustaining everything from the smallest fish to the largest whales. It is a cycle that has continued for millions of years, an unbroken rhythm that binds the land and sea together. And yet, for all that the ocean gives, it also takes. Storms rise from its depths with little warning. Waves crash against the shore with unrelenting force, and entire islands can be swallowed by the tides. It is a force that commands respect, reminding us that we are only visitors in its vast and ancient world. The ocean's role in human emotion and memory. The call of the ocean is not just physical, it is emotional, deeply woven into the human experience. There is a reason people are drawn to the sea in times of reflection, why sailors speak of the waves as if they have personalities, why poets have long written of longing and adventure when describing the tides. For some, the ocean represents freedom, an open road where there are no walls, no limits, only possibility. For others, it is a place of solace, where the rhythmic crashing of waves calms the mind, each ripple a gentle reassurance that life moves forward, always shifting, never still. There is a kind of magic in standing at the edge of the water, feeling the sand shift beneath your feet, listening to the pull of the waves. The ocean has no memory, and yet it holds the echoes of countless voices, those who have sailed upon it, those who have waited for loved ones to return from it, those who have stood at its edge and dreamed of places far beyond what they knew. It is, perhaps, the one thing that remains unchanged in a world that is always changing. The fragile balance, a call to protect the ocean. For all its power, the ocean is not invincible. In recent decades, rising temperatures, pollution, and overfishing have disrupted the delicate balance that has sustained life for millions of years. Coral reefs bleach and fade. Plastic drifts in the currents where schools of fish once swam. And species that have existed longer than humankind itself now face the risk of disappearing forever. The call of the ocean is no longer just an invitation. It is a plea to respect the waters that have given so much, to protect the ecosystems that sustain life not just in the sea, but on land as well. But there is hope. Around the world, conservationists, scientists, and everyday people are working to heal the ocean. Protected marine areas, efforts to restore coral reefs, and movements to reduce plastic waste are all steps toward ensuring that the sea remains a place of beauty, wonder, and life for generations to come. The ocean does not need us, but we need it. And if we listen, truly listen to its call, we may yet find a way to exist in harmony with its timeless rhythm. The ocean as a never-ending story. The waves will continue to rise and fall, the tides will continue their ceaseless dance, and the deep unknown will remain full of mysteries waiting to be uncovered. The ocean's call is eternal, stretching across time and space, whispering to those who are willing to hear it. For some, the call will come as a longing for adventure, an urge to sail beyond the horizon and explore the great blue beyond. For others, it will be a call to reflection, a quiet pull toward the shore where they can stand and watch the waves roll in, feeling the weight of the world slip away with each retreating tide. Whatever form it takes, the call of the ocean is always there, waiting, because the sea, in all its vastness, in all its mystery, does not belong to any one person or place. It belongs to everyone. It is the great and endless story, one that will never truly be finished, because as long as the waves rise and fall, there will always be someone listening. The ocean is calling, and whether you choose to sail, to stand on the shore, or simply to dream of its waters, you are part of its story. A never-ending serenade. The ocean is more than just a body of water. It is a living force, an eternal rhythm that pulses through the world. It has shaped the course of history, inspired countless myths, and held within its depths the secrets of time itself. From the vibrant coral reefs of the shallows to the lightless trenches of the abyss, the sea is a place of endless wonder, one that humbles us, teaches us, and calls to us in ways we do not always understand. For those who have stood upon the shore and listened to the waves, for those who have gazed at the endless horizon and felt the pull of something greater than themselves, the ocean is not just a place. It is a feeling, a presence that lingers long after we walk away. It is the soft lull of the tide, cradling sailors to sleep as they drift across its surface. It is the whispered stories of mariners, explorers, and dreamers carried across the wind. It is the silence of the deep, where creatures glow in eternal darkness, unseen but alive. And it is a song, a serenade sung not in words, but in the language of waves, currents, and the quiet pull of the tides. The ocean asks nothing of us. yet it gives us so much. It gives us adventure, peace, and mystery. It teaches us patience, respect, and humility. It reminds us that no matter how much we think we know, there is always more to discover, always more to wonder about. And so, as the waves continue their ceaseless dance and the deep unknown stretches far beyond what we can see, the story of the ocean does not end here. It never will. As long as the tides rise and fall, as long as the sea whispers to the shore, the ocean will keep calling, waiting for those who are willing to listen. Close your eyes now. Breathe in, slow and deep. Imagine the gentle rocking of the water, the soothing rhythm of the waves. Let yourself drift, weightless, carried by the current into the embrace of the sea. The ocean is calling, and in its endless serenade, sleep comes as soft as the tide. Good night.